Good morning, Texas, everyone beyond Texas. We've got a fun morning this morning. Although the market is, wherever it is, depending on where you live right now, we are we're selling a lot of houses. A lot of people are selling a lot of houses, and so today we're going to focus on that. Before we get started, shout outs, some gratitude, maybe some announcements. Go ahead and pop your hand up. I do see a hand. Kevin.
Yeah, thanks, Adelina. Today I wanted to share gratitude actually to you. And sorry, cue the tear ducts. It's not from me, it's on behalf of the family of Sergeant Kevin Lee Lloyd. Um, I have asked you for numerous things throughout this whole ordeal that they've been dealing with, and they haven't been small asks. And every single time I ask you for something, you provide it. And when I shared with his partner yesterday what you did for them on Tuesday, she asked me, "Who is this person?" And I kind of shared a little bit, and I talked about how place we display gratitude, and that's what we are. And she wanted me to personally thank you on behalf of her family and just give you some gratitude today on this call. So thank you so much.
I am so glad we can all pull together. I was very sad to hear of Sergeant Lloyd's passing, and I'm very glad of the good that will come out of it. And thank you for your hand in that. Yeah. Oh, life, guys. The beauty of it is that we're still here, right? We got plenty of work to do moving ahead, right? Any other shout outs or gratitude as we get started? I've got one announcement, and this one's for operators and for director of operations. Next Wednesday, if you didn't look at your email for some reason, there is a telemarketing, like TCPA type of discussion with Brian Gubernick and our chief legal officer, Jamie. And so we want to bring all of that back to our teams. Place has done a great job of helping us through that. And so next Wednesday, check your calendars, make sure you're on. All right, here's the fun part. The fun part is talking to Miss Elizabeth. Uh, and on my screen, I've got two rock stars. I've got Elizabeth Gassis and Elizabeth Hobbs. And I'm like, today I'm talking to Elizabeth Hobbs, but it is so wild to see like two like very famous gals right here. Super excited to see you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and spotlight you. I'm gonna make you a co-host. We're gonna have fun this morning, if that's okay with everyone. Here we go. Well, Elizabeth, good morning.
Good morning.
It is probably a little bit chillier where you are compared to where I am. You're in Indiana.
Yes, it's a crisp 40 degrees this morning, so
Oh,
we're doing great.
we can do 40 degrees.
Yeah. We just got out. We had snow on Sunday and Monday, so that's finally all melted. So we're good.
Well, we haven't had snow in my parts, so I'm glad somebody else is getting it and it's not me. I'm gonna give you guys some quick notes if you guys are ready for it. Elizabeth obviously is in the Indiana area. She is closing 60 deals this year, maybe a little bit more, but definitely we're hitting the 6-0. And I wanted her to share with us because a lot of us have goals of obviously selling real estate more than 12, more than 15, more than 20. Her market, about 20 to 30 days on market is the standard right now. So it's a little bit faster moving than some of our Texas areas. But it's not like nothing sells overnight. Her price points in the area, like if you're like kind of like a first time home buyer, or you're looking for like, just like your cookie cutter home, you can get like anywhere from 250 to 350, like a good production home. But to get a nice house, Elizabeth, you're for 5 to 600,000, you're getting something special.
Yes. Yeah.
So it is a cool market. She has 4 step kids. So they're exciting. She also is a Gigi to a 3-year-old. And think about this. If you have anything in common with Elizabeth, she loves concerts. I know some of y'all do. She loves vacationing in Montana. I know some of y'all do. She bought 60 acres, which I think is really cool. She has 10 chickens. 10?
10. Yep.
10 chickens. So some of you guys that like your farm life, there you go. Love spending time with family. So how'd you get into real estate? like walk us back. When was it and how'd you get into real estate?
Yeah, so it was probably 2019 timeframe where I decided I was going to sign up for my real estate classes. I was helping my husband. He is a project manager at a construction company here in Indiana, and was doing some side projects with driveways and sidewalks, moved interior, started doing some renovating, some flooring, some backsplashes. And I was helping him with that stuff. And at that point, I was like, I don't really love doing the work, but I definitely love being in the homes, hearing people's stories, helping them, better their houses. I'm like, maybe I would like to sell the houses. That sounds like something that is interesting to me. So I signed up for my classes, and got licensed in 2020.
Okay, right before the pandemic?
Yes, January of 2020, January 14th is when I got my license.
Oh, exciting. Okay,
Yeah.
tell me, like you seem very like warm and lovely. Were you like, did people think, oh, Liz is gonna kill it? Like her personality is made for this. What did people think?
There were a few people who questioned me when I said I was going to start real estate, and they said, "Are you sure that's what you want to do?" Because in my previous years, I was very shy, not very outgoing. I kind of just tried to stay out of the spotlight. And so those people, they just didn't believe in me. And so as soon as they said that, I said, okay, watch me. And here we go.
I hear that. Okay, so I'm gonna take it down a few for everyone listening. I'm gonna take it down a few different paths. The first path I want to start is like your progress over the last 5 years. Just so we can understand how you've progressed over the leverage model and the opportunity model. Did you start out on a team? Kind of like walk me through what did your growth look like the last 5 years?
Yeah, so 2020, when I was licensed, I started at Keller Williams as a solo agent. I really wanted to dive all in, and if I was going to do this, I was going to do it every day. So I got my little office space there. I had the option of being in a space with no one else, which I would have loved because that was my personality. Or I could join a bigger office space with a couple other people. So I chose to be uncomfortable and go into that space because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I need to be around people that know what they're doing. So I joined as a solo agent. I did open houses every single weekend that I could. I went to the office every single day, even if I just went there. I was there. And then COVID happened. I wasn't sure how I was going to progress. I was still very new. And the Keller Williams lead at that point had connected me with another agent who wasn't able, at the beginning of COVID, nobody could go out that had autoimmune diseases. And she unfortunately was in that situation. So I was lucky enough to be chosen to be an agent to help her with her Zillow leads. So through that, I was able to start really working hard with these clients, helping them find houses. I was also showing at houses for another agent who was out of town frequently. And through that, I met Spencer, who is my current team lead. So through some different negotiations through there and different conversations, we ended up deciding that I would come onto his team. And in September of 2020, I joined his team.
So from January to September, you were kind of soloing it, right? And we're helping out other agents like wherever they needed help, showing properties. Meanwhile, you were trying to get your business off the ground. I know you closed 4 before partnering with Spencer, but
Yes.
4 wasn't like your dream. Hence the reason you partnered up with Spencer.
Yeah.
And so you partnered up with Spencer in September 2020.
Mhm.
What did 2021 look like for you?
A blur.
Okay. Same.
2021, when I joined Spencer, I joined as a showing agent for another agent that was on his team.
Okay. So you didn't
And
join like as like a full-fledged agent even.
correct, yes.
Okay.
I chose
Okay.
to step out of production and just learn the business. He and his teammate at the time, they were doing a lot. And I saw it as a huge opportunity to learn how to be an agent without having all of the responsibilities and all of the pressure on me because I had this person that I could just shadow 24/7.
So were you like a showing agent for the team then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you partnered with Spencer initially as the showing agent for the team.
Yes.
Okay, how did that progress? What happened next?
Yeah, so in 2021, my teammate and I, who I was her showing agent, we ended up closing 91 houses together.
Wow.
So I was in hundreds and hundreds of houses every day. There were weeks I didn't go to the office because I had so many showings. So that was a wild time. I really got thrown in and learned very, very quickly. So through that year, I was able to really understand a fast-paced market, understand aggressive offers and aggressive negotiations.
Which was not necessarily your ideal personality traits. Like aggressive is not a word that I would have used for you.
No, no, especially back then. It it helped me create a very strong backbone when we were in this time because you couldn't let people walk all over you. You couldn't just stand in the background and just kind of let things happen. You had to make things happen and be one step ahead of everyone. So it really catapulted me into the growth that I have now.
What happened next?
Yeah, so the end of 2021, my uncle had passed away, so I was out of the office for a couple weeks. And when I came back, um, the Spencer, our teammate, and myself were sitting in our office, and he said, "So, how do you feel about being a buyer agent?" And so we call this the Spencer train. It happens, we change, and it's instantaneous. So I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? And where's she going? And he said, oh no, I'm gonna take a step back a little bit. She's gonna start taking some more listings, and we want you to be our buyer agent. So the only answer was absolutely. So I started 2022 as a brand new buyer agent again, in a very different market from the first time that I was a buyer agent. But I felt like I knew so much more and I had so many more capabilities than the first time. So I was very confident going into it. It was nice to have the backing and the understanding of the market itself in that time frame.
So the market shifted in 2022 for you as much as it did for a lot of us.
Mhm,
You closed 35 in
mhm,
2022, which,
mhm.
by any stretch of the imagination, number one, 91 to 35 seems like a huge gap, but 35 closings is a lot of closings in the middle of a shifting market. Did you
Yes.
hire a showing agent at any point? Or how did
Yes.
that look? What did the progress look like for you further on in leverage? Because you were selling a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So the time frame that we were going to prior to me becoming the buyer agent, the discussion was let's go ahead and hire another showing agent so that myself and the other showing agent we could just ramp up and really push through this. That shifted into now I'm going to be the buyer agent. We already have this showing agent, so take off with your business and get going. So I started with a buyer with a showing agent when I started as buyer agent.
Got it. Um, what does what does a showing agent do for you? Because I know we have a new one now, and we can go back to that. But what does she do?
Yeah, so the showing agent's role, as far as what she's doing for me, is really all of the showings Obviously, as the showing agent, if she needs help, I'm happy to step in. But coordinating showings, coordinating with the buyers themselves, researching. We do calls together, we door knock together. The compensation for that is 15%. So 35% would go to myself, and then 15% goes to the showing agent. And her job is to get them sold as fast as possible so she can net the most that, she can.
Is she doing the buyer consultation?
With me. So
Okay.
I always like, if it's possible, if there's not any other appointments, I always like for both of us to be there to present together. We're a team together. Our slogan is, you are me and I am you. So if you have a question, you send it in a group text to both of us. One of us gets back to you as quick as possible. It's a 2-for-1 deal. 2 agents for one price there.
How do you pitch it to someone? I know like your showing partner right now is amazing. Her name is Storm.
Yes.
And how do you pitch it to someone like Storm? Like, what's the mentality behind all this? Like, what's the conversation sound like initially, I guess?
Initially, the conversation, especially for someone who's either not doing a lot of business or someone that is brand new to the market, the conversation is, let's get you into production as fast as we can. And one way to do that is being a showing agent, coming in, you're really, mentoring them the whole time. They're right under your wing. You're showing them the ropes. They're getting the reps in with seeing the houses. If I'm ever on vacation, they're covering for me. So they might be writing offers, doing inspection responses. They're just really all in at that point. And so that's the pitch of, let's get you in as fast as we can. And this is how you're going to learn from me and learn the market and know how to move forward on your own once it's that time.
How much will Storm probably make this year?
I'm so excited for her. So she's probably going to hit 70,000 this year.
Okay, excellent. Because sometimes people hear percentages versus take home.
Yeah.
Which, percentages you don't like. I've never like gone to the bank and like, well, deposit 2%.
Yeah.
Right. It's always a dollar amount. So, so she's gonna take home 70K. Is this the most she's made so far?
Yes.
Like ever in her career, like ever anywhere else?
Yes, ever in her life, this is the most money that she's made. So that's something I'm very proud of for her, and her work ethic, and just playing all in is really what it is.
I love that. I'm going to take a step just slightly back, and I'm going to go to your historical business growth, like how you built this. So between 2022 and 2023, the market was, wonky as it was for all of us. What were you doing to drum up business during that time?
During that time, I was doing a lot of between open houses, just calling database, calling old leads, door knocking. So farming areas, not necessarily door knocking for the open house, but going to areas that we knew were high turnover rates, and just taking a stab in the dark and trying to find anybody that might be willing to sell. So that was a lot of what I spent my time doing.
Got it. Now, like the last, 2 years, let's say, how are you building your business now?
The last 2 years, my business is a lot of repeat business, past clients, sphere referral. So recently it's become a lot more apparent that taking care of who I already have is where I need to be. So I've been nurturing a lot more on my past clients or my sphere.
Okay, so I hear you say database then. So then what happens like when, like, let's say you go to the office, like, are you doing a day in the life? Like, what does your life look like on the day to day, I guess?
Yeah, on the day to day, it's definitely interesting because I'm sure we'll touch on this. I'm also the mentor agent for the team, so that sometimes is interesting shifts into days, but every day trying to make sure I'm doing the day in the life, or at least touching a couple of the day in the life tasks to try and stay up on the database, making sure everything's clean, and just really trying to find the leads that are already within my system, because I have this database. So why am I trying to find leads elsewhere when I have so many that are right in front of me?
How big is your database right now?
Personally, mine is, I think, just under 1,000 people.
Okay. Yeah. So you've built it. Okay. I like that. What's your mindset on open houses right now?
Yeah. So
I mean, you and I talked yesterday, you had just
Yeah.
finished doing open houses and it was Wednesday. So kind of walk me through open houses just in general.
Yeah. So I did get away from doing open houses for a while, especially when I joined with Storm, just trying to really focus in on listings. This year, and the challenge has kind of pushed me back into doing more open houses. So I have started really honing in on those again. And so right now, I'm doing probably 4 to 5 a week throughout the week, and seeing lots of results. We have a lot of people coming in on open houses now. One of my teammates had 8 people the other day come in, 8 groups of people. So we're really seeing a lot more of a shift with that, just because it's, there's so many people that are unrepresented, and now there's time on the market where they don't feel so rushed. So they're just starting to dip their toes in. So it's just such a good opportunity to connect with people. And especially if you do better face to face and you're struggling on the phone trying to get them to come in for an appointment, an open house is a great way to just meet people, show them your personality, and show them how you can help them. So I'm trying a new thing, and I'm trying to get more open houses in, and I'll stick with it after the challenge to just maybe not 4 to 5 a week, but it's just a good opportunity, and also it's a good touch on your database, because every open house I do a reverse prospecting in our whole CRM. So I'm matched to anybody that has come in, looked at a house similar, gone to a similar open house, and I'll call them. And
What
I've
do you
had people
say?
come.
What do you say on a call like that?
Yeah, I just let them know, hey, I'm hosting an open house for a house that's similar to one that you have looked at on our website or that you've been to before, and I wanted to tell you a little bit more about that. And I let them know about the house and tell them when I'm there and see if they want to come. And I've had people come from it. So the biggest thing I think is, when you have a reason to call someone, you should take it. Because all the time we're struggling of, well, what am I going to say? I don't want to call this person because I don't know what to say to them. I just talked to them. I don't have anything. So when you have an opportunity to organically call someone, you should take it.
Absolutely. So I'm thinking about, when I think about your current business growth, I want to touch on, like, obviously your career growth with Storm. Then there's like the business growth, which has been your focus on your database. Then there's been the leadership growth, which is your mentorship of other agents. And then there's the lead gen lever growth, with connecting with your sphere and past clients. And so the career growth, starting your team within a team with Storm, you're making 6 figures. Storm is making 70 this year. And you're both making great money, have a great career. Did I sum that up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then business growth, you're following up and keeping up with your database. Did you always do that?
Not to the level that I do it now. I think I just, like I said, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what to call them for. I didn't have reasons to call them, but I think now I'm more confident in myself.
Okay, so your confidence grew. How did you create the discipline to get into your database? Because some of us, not all of us, most of us, our databases are messy, girl.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do?
Yeah.
How'd you get to discipline?
So one of the things that it's just undeniable is that our team has a standard for what we call being on leads. So if you want to be eligible for a team lead, then you have to have a clean database. So there's like 7 or 8 things that you have to have at a certain level before you're even considered to be on leads that week.
Okay.
So that was the first motivating factor of, okay, this has to be clean because I'm not missing out on these opportunities.
Okay, so a clean database unlocks leads on your team.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. I wrote that down just to know. Okay. And then leadership growth, in growing as a leader. Why did you, I mean, because you could just sell just houses on your own. Obviously, you're already doing 60 of them this year. Why did you choose to grow in your leadership? Why leadership growth? Why going to be a mentor?
Yeah, I think that I enjoy helping people. I enjoy seeing people grow themselves. And I think that I know that I am where I am because of the mentorship that I had within our team, and to just have the opportunity to take someone's life and help them transform it into something else. It's just something that I really enjoy doing. Whether I'm selling them a house or I'm teaching them how to be an agent, I know what it's like when you're starting out and you have no idea what you're doing. And I think the biggest impact on my career was joining Spencer's team and being able to have that person that was showing me everything. So I think I just want to give back when it comes to that.
What does the mentorship program look like on your team?
Yeah, so we have the first 5 buyers and the first 5 sellers is what I hold your hand through. So whether you do all 5 buyers to start or you sprinkle in between the two or however you choose to do it, it's just 5 and 5. So at that point, I'm going on every appointment with you. I'm pulling comps with you. I'm checking all your paperwork. I'm showing you how to fill everything out. The only thing I don't do is go on the showings with them. That's something that they can take care of. But outside of that, I'm there every step of the way, helping through, okay, this is what you should do next. Or they get an offer, so they let me know what it is, and we talk about how you should present that to your client and the high points of it. So,
Are you helping are you helping them through their launch process?
um, as far as just kind of going through where they're at with their launch, keeping track of where they are, making sure that they're doing the things that they need to do if they have any questions. Yes, I meet with them once a week, every week, to talk through where they're at, what they need to do, if they're behind, where they need to make up.
Okay, so you're getting them into production.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. And then can you talk about like what does compensation look like for that? Just
Oh yeah. So our team does the obviously the 50-50 split with place,
yeah,
and then from there, their 50% gets split. They get 25% and then I get 25%. So we're both kind of in it together. So that's
got it.
why I'm with them every single step of the way, so that they know that they do have a fallback.
Very good. So you're already managing all of your own clients and your own pendings, and then you're adding they probably have what 5 to 7 to 10
Mhm.
active clients that you're helping manage as well.
Yes.
Okay. Very cool. The other thing that I wanted to ask you, Sherry in our chat said, what does a clean database mean to you?
A clean database to me is not a million overdue tasks. I've talked to all of my hot people, um, in whatever range that needs to be. You know, sometimes you talk to them once or twice a week. Sometimes you're talking to them every day, depending on that specific person. So, you know, you're at least talking to them a couple times a week. My nurturers are, I'm talking to them at least once a month, if not more frequent than that. Again, depending on the person. The listing alerts are all set. The market reports are set. I'm looking at the people that are looking at those. So I'm calling the people that are looking at their market reports. I'm calling the people that are on the website. You know, just really, the database does a lot of the work for us. We just need to call. So I'm just doing my portion of the work.
That makes sense. You're one of the things that you said you were proud of was connecting with your sphere and past clients,
Mhm.
and getting client referrals. How are you getting actual client referrals? Like, can we talk about that for a
Yeah.
second? Because we all want more referrals.
Mhm.
What are some things that you feel like you're strong in right now around that?
Yeah, I think that my strong suit with anyone in my sphere or past clients, to get those referrals is that I am really honing in on what they need as a person and I'm present with them. So I'm not just kind of like, oh, well, this can wait. I'll call them tomorrow. You know, if they need something, of course, within a certain standard, I'm going to be there for them. I'm going to talk them through everything. I'm telling them things before they're wondering things, and really just getting to know them as a person, and helping them through that. So we had a client that was having a baby. And so they had just bought and sold a house. So we got a basket together and we took over some baby things for them just so that they had them about a month before she was due. So that, we saw the nursery, we popped by, just said, hey, we stayed for 15-20 minutes. It wasn't anything crazy. But it does help with, making that connection, letting them know you're listening to them and they're not just another number in your books. You're really keeping track and knowing what's going on with them.
So the relationship doesn't end with the transaction.
No.
Okay, so you are staying visible and present in their life post transaction.
Yes.
What do you think you could be doing better?
I do think I could probably be a little bit more connected with some of them. And that was one of my goals for this coming year, is to be more connected with more of them. You have your top people, obviously, but then when it comes to every once in a while, there's one that kind of slips out and you're like, oh man, I haven't talked to them in forever and I don't know what to say. And so maybe I just won't say anything. They get my mailers, it'll be okay. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to make sure that I'm present with everyone.
Does that look like having a more consistent calling plan for them? Does it look like more pop buys? What do you think it looks like?
Definitely a more consistent calling plan, because I know that there's been a lot that I just like, ugh, I don't know what to say. So I just maybe don't don't reach out. And there's also the ones that I've talked to that just slip my mind, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I should have called them and I didn't. So now I'm not going to, but I need to call them. It doesn't matter if I forgot, I'll call them. It's okay.
Are you doing any prospecting, any expireds, anything like that?
I do call expireds in the area, and that's one thing I want to continue to dig deeper into. We have so many more expireds now than we have in the past. With as many days on market, we're climbing up, especially once you get into the 500 plus range. We're having a lot of days on market, so I know that I have the tools and the knowledge to help get their house sold within a reasonable time frame. And I just don't think a lot of people understand the market now. And so wanting to help them, I'm going to push through a little bit more on those.
Got it. What advice would you give newer agents? I want to talk to new advice for newer agents, and then advice for like super seasoned agents that also want to sell 40, 50, 60 homes.
Yeah.
So start us off with like newer agents. What advice would you give them?
For new agents, definitely play all in. I know that it is so hard when you're starting out. It's really discouraging. But the thing that I have seen the most success in, had the most success in, and even to this day have the most success in, is going full force and not letting up, because it takes a little bit for those calls to convert. It takes a little bit to find those clients, and that's okay. But if you're continuing to keep your foot on the gas pedal and you're not letting up, you're going to get those reps and you're going to find those clients, and you're just going to continue to grow. So the hardest part when you feel like giving up is don't not make your calls. Don't get discouraged just because you haven't had a client or you haven't had an appointment in a few days. It's okay. I think one thing that Chris said one time on one of our calls was, it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to have a bad week. When you have a bad month, that's a you problem.
Absolutely.
So those are definitely things that I've held on to this whole time.
What about seasoned agents? What would you give advice to them?
It's very similar.
Okay.
It's really easy, and I have fallen victim to it. It's very easy to get comfortable and kind of skate through, oh, I have 6 pending, or I have 4 pending. I'm okay. I don't have to make calls this week. Or, you just get comfortable with the level that you're at too, of you don't realize that you're holding yourself back. So just always be mindful of where you want to be and what it's going to take to get you there. Because you might say you want to do 60 this year, but your actions aren't what someone that does 60 does. So really reevaluate with yourself. If that's what you really want, then change your mentality, change your habits, make sure you're constantly doing the activities that are going to get you to 60, because we all know how to get to 60. It's, do we really want to get to 60?
So what Ben would say is be the person your dreams require.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like maybe 5-7 minutes for questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I had a couple come through. Kevin Vorbeck wants to know, what does the training look like for a showing partner? Can you go back in your mind and think about, like, how did you get your showing partner off the ground? Do you remember?
Yes, yeah. So my first showing partner, when she started, she was a brand new agent, so she did not know anything about showings or really how to function through that. So the training with her is similar to how I did with the mentor agent section of it. Is I held her hand through the first little bit of it. She went on every single showing with me. She saw how I showed houses, the things that I looked up beforehand, the things that I did while I was there. And I also created a document for her of, these are the things that you need to know about the different loan types. So a VA, FHA, USDA loan, they have standards that the houses have to pass. So you need to check these things while you're there so that we know. So those are kinds of things that I did to show her. And then, you know, once she saw a few houses with me, I would go with her on her showings just to make sure that she felt comfortable, knew what she was doing, didn't have any other questions, and then she kind of took off from there.
Did they go through launch as well, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
yep, because every person on our team is she was an agent. She was just underneath me as a showing partner instead of an actual production agent. So yes, they all go through launch and they all have to pass launch in order to stay. So
Question then, like, just it hasn't come up, but what were you looking for in a showing partner? How did you know Storm was going to be the right one?
yeah, so Storm, she was an agent on our team who wasn't doing very much production at the time because she was working part-time at Chick-fil-A. So shout out to Chick-fil-A, we love it. And she really, she wanted it. She was ready to jump all in. She said she would quit her job at Chick-fil-A. And for me, someone that's willing to do that and really believe in what I have in my vision, it's just, to me, that spoke volumes to the person that she was. So she kind of already knew how to show houses. So just kind of tweaking what she did a little bit or giving her advice on how to maybe do a few things differently was really where I went with her.
Got it. What time and days are working best for open houses? I know you build your business
Yeah.
through open houses. Is there anything you want to share with us on that? Deldy had that question.
Yeah, it's super interesting because typically we see like weekends are really big. So we do a lot of Friday 4 to 6, Saturday either 12 to 2, 1 to 3, and the same for Sunday. Recently, one of our agents, with the challenge, he was trying to get in as many as he could. And also, I had a client who needed a 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on a Saturday. And I'm like, okay, this is going to go one of two ways. We don't really know, because 10 a.m. to 12 on a Saturday is a strange time. Or excuse me, on a Sunday is a strange time. And he ended up having 4 people come to that, and they stayed the whole time. I mean, there was very interested parties that came. So I would say obviously weekends and evenings are when people are off of work, but you are going to catch those people. I had an open house from 11 to 1 yesterday, and I had people come to it. So I think advertising, calling, doing the work, working the open house plan, it's a plan for a reason. They do work. So I think if you're putting the work in, the time of day may not matter, but you're going to probably have more success and more people in the evenings after work hours or on the weekends.
That makes total sense. I want to jump back in really quick. For everyone that listened and everyone that's going to listen on the recording, you know, you're closing 60 deals with your showing partner Storm this year. How much of that is buyers? How much is sellers? Do you have an idea?
Yeah, so I think we're probably about 60% sellers, 40% buyers.
Okay, so 60% sellers, 40% buyers. You are generating this business through keeping up with your database and
Mhm.
calling through your database and looking for the buying and the selling signals through market reports and listing alerts. You're
Mhm.
doing your open houses, so you're generating new clientele that way. Um, Prospecting expireds and team leads.
Mhm.
Did I miss anything of how you're building the business, how you're generating new clientele?
Honestly, her and I are both, when you look at both of our businesses, both of our top sources are sphere referral, and repeat business. So
Okay.
those are definitely the tops of both of ours. And then we have sprinkled in there sign calls, expireds. We do the Google GLS service. Spencer has that for us. So those are really where we're getting a lot of our business.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Because a lot of times in people's minds, it could be, well, like 60 deals. Well, if I had a showing partner, I would also close 60 deals. What would be your feedback to that? Yay, nay? Uh, like, why does
I-
not everybody sell 60 if they had a showing partner? I guess we didn't talk about this, but just like off the cuff,
yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah, so I think that if you, I'm trying to think of how I can say this. If you want 60 and you're going to do the work to get to 60, then yes, you're probably going to need a showing partner because you're going to be busy. The place model is four pendings a month and you can get a showing agent. And I think that you also have to take your part of ownership in that. So when I brought Storm on, I promised her a certain amount of deals. I promised her, in exchange for what she's going to bring, I'm going to give her, at least 10 buyers. I'm going to give her at least um, five showing opportunities with buyers for myself. So I think that you have to make sure that you're ready to have the ownership of somebody else's well-being.
Okay, so what I hear is the leverage model exists because someone gets to a point where there's no way that you could do 60 deals on your own and have a life. Now you could do
Yes,
it, but you wouldn't have a
absolutely.
life.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get busy enough, you have enough clientele where you can AKA guarantee another human working
Mm-hmm.
with you that they will have business because of your efforts, and then you start working together in the I guess agent and showing partner relationship. um okay, that makes
Yes.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that I didn't go over, guys, that we wanted to go over in the next 2 minutes as we wrap this up? And Elizabeth, you're amazing. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
talking us through that.
I have a quick
And
question, Adelina.
please, yes, ma'am.
Just curious, because I've seen this done a couple of ways with showing assistants. I know you are involved in every piece of her business, but is she involved in every one of your transactions or just the ones that she actually brings to the team?
If it is buyer related at all, she's involved in it. With my listings, if they are generated through myself, then she's not involved in it. But if she gives me, typically, if she finds a listing and she sets the appointment for me, she goes to the appointment with me. She's understanding of what's happening within that transaction. And a lot of the time with that situation, they are buying and selling at the same time. So we're kind of all within that. But if it's anything to do with buyers, she's involved in it.
That's awesome. And I might have missed this. What's the goal for you this year as far as units? And I'm guessing you're a 50-50 business. Did you already share that, or is it 60-40 sellers?
60/40 sellers to buyers. And then for 2026 goals, our goal together is 90.
All right. So she'll
Uh,
have at least 40% of that. And that's how you forecast her business and what she's going to do
Um,
if it's 40% buyers.
Yeah, well, I take some buyers, depending on, you know, the level of relationship that I have with them. So if I have past clients that are wanting to buy, and some of them I keep for myself, and she's the showing agent on them. But if it's just kind of like a cold lead that comes in that I find, I'll set the appointment for her.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is the goal to like what is Storm's goal next year? Because I know this was the best year that she's had. What is it like for her?
So she wants to do 25 deals herself, and then her stretch goal is 40. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very exciting. Wow.
Yeah.
Good job. I hope it happens. We're here for it.
Mhm.
I think if I'm thinking back, sometimes somebody will see like you and you're like maybe 3 to 5 steps ahead of where they currently are right now. And I want to, and I want everyone listening back to this to think about Elizabeth talked about what to do to get to this point. The reason we're having this conversation is because there's so much longevity in our business. There's so much career growth in our business. Like it's not just like sell 12 houses and that's it. And that's great if that's your goal. But there's so much opportunity out there to grow as big as you want. And to really craft the life that you want, to design the life that you want, because that's what Elizabeth has done. Like when she's out there with her chickens and when she's buying 60 acres, like that happens because of the business that she has built the last 5 years. And so, I go back to like, okay, are we doing our open houses? Are we doing our prospecting? Are we working our database? Are we getting team leads because of the result of that? Oh, I've got a curveball to wrap us up with. I love your question, Matt. That is an amazing question. Because it's a curveball question. We always hear about what works. What he's curious is the activities you stopped doing because the ROI wasn't there with the time. Is there anything that you pulled back on? Is there anything you pivoted on? And did that open up growth in other areas?
That's a great question.
Right?
Trying to think back on activities that I used to do, I think honestly a lot of it is we tried to hone in on last year when we did our business planning. We said, what is the one thing that you want to take ownership over, and that's going to be your baby, and you just focus all your energy on that. And I think that is probably, I mean, that's a lot of what this year's business planning is too. So I think that finding the thing that you're really good at, that you want to be really good at, and sticking with it is something that I've tried to do this whole time. Of I need to do what I'm doing well, and if I'm not doing it well, then I'm not doing it. So I'm trying to think about what maybe that might have been, and the only thing that really pops into my head at this point would be like Facebook leads, calling them that come in, or now they're Brevity Connect leads. Those don't convert well for me for some reason, just getting them on the phone. And so I guess those I still call, I still, you know, work the plan on them, but I don't focus a lot of my energy in on them. I focus really more on, you know, the different expireds, and talking to my database and working through my specific database. There's people on my team that hate in-person things, but will circle prospect on Mojo all day, every day if she could. And she's great at it. I don't want to be a part of Mojo. I don't want to circle prospect. So, but she loves it. And so I think that's the thing, is like, I guess that's something else too, is Mojo. I don't love cold calling. So
You almost said hate. And I was like, ooh. But what I'm hearing for everyone is I'm hearing that you are you're doing the activity. So the message is do the activity. The activity has to happen.
Yes.
Which direction you go, whether that is that you're really passionate about one lead gen lever over another, like that's totally human. Hello, you're normal. If you're feeling like I just don't love circle prospecting, I know some people do. Maybe somebody else doesn't love something else. So like utilizing your time in something that you are passionate about does create longevity, which then creates a better ROI for you.
Yes. Yes, because what works for me may not work for the next person. But my personality, my energy that I put into this, that's what I'm putting all my energy into. So whatever lead gen lever that you decide is your cup of tea, run with it. Put everything you have into it, and it's gonna be a return for you.
I love that. Any open-ended questions that you feel like are good in your open houses, other than LP Mama that we do ask? Are there any other questions that you feel like I'm really like getting good rapport built through these questions, or I feel like they're getting me good conversion at your open houses?
Yeah. So I don't know that there's any that are specific, more so than just listening and hearing the things that they're saying that they're not actually saying, and just paying attention to the cues that they have. So if someone's walking around, they're having their own conversation. I know a lot of times we just kind of like fall to the background and try and not, but just pay attention to the things they're looking at, the things that they like, and really try to pick up on the cues that they're giving you without them having to say it.
Is there an example potentially that you could give?
Yeah, so I was doing an open house a couple weekends ago at one of my listings, and they were walking around, and I could hear them whispering about a couple things with the kitchen. So I decided, like, hey, I'll just tell them the story of this kitchen. So, talking through why they maybe chose to do different things than what that person would do. Then they said, oh, well, that actually makes a lot of sense. And, then that leads into more conversation of like, what would you have done differently? Do you think that this could work for you? You just have more genuine conversation with people and maybe not focus so much on what exactly, you're not just trying to sell this house. I mean, obviously, if you do, that's great. But just have genuine conversation with people, let them get to know you, and see where it goes.
I love that. Would you pop your contact information in chat? The chat box goes out to everyone after the call, so that way they can save you, if they had to jump off,
Yeah.
and the ones that are on here. And what I encourage you guys to do is save Elizabeth's information in your phone as just put Indiana, so you don't have to remember what part of Indiana. Just Elizabeth is Indiana. You got a referral for Indiana. She will steer you in the right direction. And hopefully it's her area, because then, you can be part of that whole fun episode. Elizabeth, thank you so much. Thank you for being an inspiration for us
Thank you. Yeah.
of doing the work, crafting the life that you want, utilizing the leverage model, and the opportunity model to better your life and make it everything you want it to be, and giving back through mentorship. Really super amazing. I love that for you.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you back on this time next year, hearing about your goals and what you did to pivot when it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
And
Sounds
and
great.
things that were good. So when we sell the 90, we'll chat again and see, well, how did we go from 60 to 90?
Sounds great.
I love that. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Have a good
Thank
rest of
you.
your day, guys. We will see you next time, Texas, and have a great weekend. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, guys.
See ya.